Hi everyone, welcome to our day one training session of learning Oracle GoldenGate 23ai session. This is first ever instructor led 23ai training on Oracle GoldenGate. So I welcome you all to be part of this. I welcome you all to be part of this historical moment. And let us start now. So before I start, just a quick round of update regarding my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/ashishagarwal_gg. So if you haven't visited the channel, I would request you to do visit the channel and do like, share, and subscribe the channel. The channel is dedicated to Oracle Golden Gate related videos. So the channel name is youtube.com/ashishagarwal_gg. And guys, you can also visit my website, which is trancotech.com, and there are a lot of blogs which will be upcoming, and if you need any details you can find over there. So let us start. So Oracle GoldenGate 23ai, GoldenGate integration with artificial intelligence. So Oracle GoldenGate 23ai is the latest version in Oracle GoldenGate environment or Oracle GoldenGate family, wherein Oracle has tried to introduce some of the AI features in Oracle GoldenGate itself. So the previous version of GoldenGate was 21c, and it is still in market, 19c, 21c. 23ai is the latest version, and as we all know, AI is future. Let us talk about, like, there is a there was a there was one what should I say, survey conducted few days back, and it is regularly conducted nowadays, wherein it was asked from the people who attended that survey that, do you think that out of five jobs in by 2030, three jobs or four jobs may be consumed by AI? The answer was, you won't believe, 70% of people said yes. So AI is future, of course. And of course, the thing is, by saying this, I don't mean to say that you should be worried, but of course you need to keep aligned with the latest technology. And with that, I always give example of Nokia. So Nokia didn't embrace in 2009-10. Nokia was at its peak in mobile technology, and now it's not there, right? So because it didn't accept the change, and wherein the changes are accepted, it applies not only to technology, it also applies to us as well. So until and unless we change ourselves, we keep upskilling ourselves, not only in Golden Gate is one of the technology, right? In any technology in this world, until we upgrade, we are bound to get outdated, right? So to ensure that we are not doing that, we need to upgrade ourselves. So 23ai is the latest version of Oracle Golden Gate. Okay. So for those who don't know me, I'm expert in Oracle Golden Gate and Oracle database. I have some. So this is the live training batch. So I believe everyone of you knows me, but I'll, because this is the first session, so I always give the introduction. So I'm expert in Oracle Golden Gate and Oracle database related technologies. I have 17 plus years of training experience in Golden Gate. So I have been conducting training since 2008 and 2009 beginning, and I have entered into the 17th year now. Okay, so I have various highlighted courses available as well, which include classic architecture, microservices, very data. Now, in my forte, I'll add 23i as well. After this batch, I have trained 9,400 trainees and 289 plus corporate clients. In fact, 290 corporate clients should be the correct number. I'm Oracle certified professional and Oracle Golden Gate certified. I'm blogger and speaker at multiple Oracle user groups. You can email me. This is my email ID, which is ashishagarwal@gmail.com. My tweet is available at ashishagarwal@. And my YouTube channel is all, I already introduced that, and my website details are at trancotech.com. So if anytime you have to visit, if you have any question, you can reach out to me via these channels. Okay. So what is the agenda of this Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI training? So the agenda includes introduction to Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI. So this is 23 AI training. So the training agenda includes introduction to Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI, architecture and components of Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI, Okay. Installation and deployment we'll be discussing. Then setting up Golden Gate Hub. So what we'll be doing with this training is we'll be introducing Golden Gate Hub as well. So I'll show you how to implement Golden Gate Hub in this particular environment. So we'll be discussing about that as well. Then we'll discuss about installation and deployment, configuring the processes in hub and normal environment, how to set up the path, distribution path, how to implement receiver server, how to configure replicate process, manage the trail files, understanding parameters, how to perform initial load in 23i, data filtering and transformation. Now, upgradation and migration of Oracle GoldenGate. So how we upgrade from existing version of GoldenGate to Oracle GoldenGate 23ai? What is difference between 21c and 23ai? Then what are the security features available? How to do performance tuning? So in GoldenGate 23ai, there are few features such as vectors, data streams. So what are those? We'll be discussing about all those in our training program of 23ai. So this is completely practical training, guys, and it is approximately 16 hours training, and we'll be covering a lot of things, and it's completely practical. With this training we'll be doing sessions on our virtual boxes, which will also be shared with you. Virtual boxes, there are new virtual boxes which are cooked for this training, which I'll be sharing with you. Okay, so what is the agenda of day one? So in day one, which is today, day one agenda of Golden Gate 23 AI training includes overview and introduction to Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI. What are different Oracle Golden Gate architectures? And what are differences between 21c and 23ai Golden Gate? And if time permits, we'll also discuss about downloading of Golden Gate 23ai. So before I start, let us start with Oracle database architecture. So basically, Golden Gate is a product which is like a change data capture product. So it's a product which works on the database. Okay. Now, the best part with Golden Gate is Golden Gate was founded in 1995, and it wasn't Oracle product at that time. In 2009, Oracle overtook it. Since then, it is known as Oracle GoldenGate. So the best part with GoldenGate is the way GoldenGate works for Oracle database in the same way it works for any non-Oracle database. So when we talk about Oracle, DB2, MySQL, Postgres, all databases, GoldenGate works in the same way. Okay. So each database, so the thing is, what is GoldenGate first of all? So GoldenGate is a CDC tool. So CDC stands for Change Data Capture Tool. So GoldenGate is a CDC tool. CDC stands for Change Data Capture Tool. Okay. So by change data capture, we mean that whatever changes are happening on the source database, those changes will be captured by Oracle GoldenGate. Now, so each database, when I talk about Oracle or any other database apart from Oracle, like MySQL, SQL Server, DB2, or any other database. Okay. So each database has its own transaction logs. Okay, where the changes are stored. So, like say for example, you are doing insert, update, delete, or you're doing any DDL transactions. All the changes are stored in a transaction logs. So in case of Oracle, these transaction logs are called as redo logs or backup of redo logs, which are called as archive. So if I have to briefly or quickly explain Oracle database architecture. Now, guys, this training is about Golden Gate. So I'll discuss about what is required related to Golden Gate in Oracle database architecture. Now, this architecture itself is such a big topic, Oracle database architecture, that we can spend 6 days in it. But because this training is particularly related to Oracle Golden Gate, so I'll discuss pertaining to what is required by Oracle Golden Gate. Okay. So Oracle database architecture is divided into two parts. One is SGA and second is Oracle database. So SGA is divided again into two parts, the memory components and the background processes. So memory components includes library cache, data dictionary cache, database buffer cache, Java pool, redo log buffer, large pool. Then you have background processes like pmon, smon, database writer, log writer, checkpoint, and others. Then you have Oracle database where the actual files reside, like data files. Data files are the files which contains the actual data. So say for example, when you do select star from employee table, you get the output. So from where do you get the output actually from? So you get the output actually from the data files. Then you have control files. So control files are the metadata files. It stores data about data. So control files are the most critical files in Oracle database environment. And then you have redo log files. So redo log files contains the changes which are made to the database. Now remember, any DML, DDL, like your insert, update, delete, or any structure changes you do at the database level, all those changes gets recorded into the redo logs. Now remember one thing, these redo logs are limited. The size of these redo logs is limited. Hence, once these redo logs are full, the backup of these redo logs are taken on disk, and those are called as archive log files. So archive log files contains the data which has been flushed out of your redo log files. Okay, now redo log files or backup of redo log files, which are called as archive log files, they contain the changed data. Whatever data is changed in the database, like your insert, update, delete, alter, modify, any DDL or DML change, they contains that change. Now remember one thing, this is very important point, which I'm going to let you know now. Or these redo log files or backup of redo log files, which are called as archive log files, they contains both committed as well as uncommitted transactions. I have seen many people have a misconception that these transaction logs of Oracle database, which are redo log files and archive log files, they contains only committed transactions. Guys, that is not true. They contains both committed as well as uncommitted transactions, which GoldenGate reads, and GoldenGate captures only committed transactions. So one of the feature of Oracle GoldenGate is it captures only committed transactions, which we'll be discussing during our training as the session goes on. So let us focus on this Oracle database architecture. So I'll give you a brief overview. So say for example, now the question comes, how these redo log files or archive log files get the data from? From where do they get the data, and how do they get the data? So these redo log files, which are which contains the change data. So what happens here is you have database buffer cache. So say for example, you have a data in the database. Now you do update DEPT11 set location equal to India, where department number is equal to 1. So what will happen is the the buffer will be changed, and that data will get returned into database buffer cache. So from the data files, it will get returned to the database buffer cache. Now that buffer which is changed, because it is updated, right? So it is a changed buffer. So that is also called as a dirty buffer. So once that become once that buffer becomes dirty, it gets returned into the database buffer cache. Okay. Now from database buffer cache, the copy of that record gets returned to the redo log buffer. Okay. Now with help of database writer process, the dirty buffer will be returned into the data file. However, the copy of the same change, whatever change has happened, the same change data will get returned from redo log buffer to redo log file with help of log writer process. So you see there are background processes running over there. Each background process has some functionality. So database writer process writes the data, writes the dirty buffer from database buffer cache to data files. Same way log writer writes the data from redo log buffer to redo log files. Okay, now log writer process writes data from redo log buffer to redo log files under these circumstances. Whenever there is commit happening, it will write. Or when redo log buffer is 1/3 full, so it doesn't matter whether the record is committed or not. If this redo log buffer is 1/3 full, it will write data to redo log file. Or when there is 1 MB of redo. So when redo log buffer has 1 MB of redo data, then it will write. Or every 3 seconds. But it will write the data always before database writer process writes the data from database buffer cache to the data file. Okay. So these redo log files contains the data for the redo purpose. Okay. For the redo purpose, say for example, you may be wondering now what is the purpose of writing the data to from redo log buffer to redo log file. The purpose is, say for example, you went to the bank. Right now you have $10,000 into your account. Okay. Now you deposited $5,000. Now at the front end, the cashier took the money and she deposited the money into account. Okay. However, before it could be reflected into the account, your database got crashed. So money you have already handed over to the cashier. You came home. You check the database. Still, it shows $10,000 because your database crashed before application can write down the updated amount to your database table. Right. So to ensure that there is recovery happening post the database comes up, the recovery happens from your redo log file. So before the database crashed, the application did the transaction. Hence, before it could be returned to the data file, the transactions were present in your redo log file. Hence, when the database comes up again, the redo will apply the changes to the database. So that is the whole purpose of redo. Another purpose of these redo log files is for the change data capture tools. So there are competitors of GoldenGate in the market, not only Oracle GoldenGate, but its competitors also use these redo logs if they want to capture the transactions from Oracle database. Okay, so Oracle, so these so in case of non-Oracle database. Now you may have a question that what happens to SQL Server? Does SQL Server also has redo log files, or MySQL also has redo log files, or Postgres also has redo log files? So the thing is, they don't have redo log files, but they have a similar concept where the changes get stored. And in case of other databases, it is called as transaction logs. Okay, so transaction logs contains the logs of the transaction. Whatever transactional changes have happened, they will be returned to the transaction logs. So if you use GoldenGate for the replication purpose, uh, it will use your redo logs in case of Oracle or transaction logs in case of non-Oracle database. Now, redo logs have the backup of have the backup in form of archive logs. So if, say, for example, any change is required to be, if any, what should I say, if say, for example, your redo log files are getting filled fast and your extract process is not capable enough to read the transaction so quickly, then it will automatically switch over to the archive log files to capture the data. So GoldenGate captures, so the ultimate source in GoldenGate is always redo log files or backup of redo log files, which are archive log files. So if, say, for example, you lose the archive before it could be captured by the by the GoldenGate process, or if, say, for example, some transactions are not written into the transaction logs of the database. Like you did some insert, update, delete in no logging mode. If they are not written into these transaction logs, GoldenGate cannot capture it. So first and foremost thing, to ensure that GoldenGate is able to capture the data, you should have the data written into these files. Okay. So for Oracle GoldenGate, transaction logs are the ultimate source for capturing the data. Okay. So this is about Oracle database architecture. Now, what is Oracle GoldenGate 23ai? Now, 23ai is is the latest version of Oracle GoldenGate. Okay. Now, prior version of Oracle GoldenGate were 21c, 19c, 18c was also there, and 12.3, 12.2, 12.1 were also there. Now, the major player, if you go out into the market right now, still major implementations are still on 19C or 21 AI. 23 AI is getting very popular. Many, not many, I should say, but some of the organizations, some of the projects have already upgraded. Oracle is promoting. And of course, 23 AI is no doubt the future because Golden Gate is now powered with AI. Golden Gate is now powered with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence features are now integrated into Oracle Golden Gate. Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. 23 AI has 21C features with 23 AI new features incorporated. So this 23 AI contains, or it also has 21C Golden Gate features included. So what is Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI? So Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI ensures instant data availability. It supports reduced downtime, minimize disruptions using database upgrades. So the thing is, there is now in 23 AI, there is AI powered replication methodology. So you can ensure that with vector implementations or data stream implementations, like you can ensure that the replication time are reduced significantly. And especially with cloud support, OCI, Azure, AWS, like this 23A is a game changer, of course. It has improved analytics as well. So analytics wise also, like it can give you informed decision as well in Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI. So you will subsequently learn lot of things when you have like the UI in front of you. Okay. So introduction to Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI. So Oracle Golden Gate 23 AI is the latest version of Oracle's data replication and integration solution. It is built on AI powered automation for better performance and resolution. So, as the name suggests, with AI, it has AI powered automation. It supports real time data movement across heterogeneous environments. So, the best part with 23AI is the support for heterogeneous databases like Oracle, or means Oracle is homogeneous, but MySQL, SQL Server, the capability has increased, and it provides enhanced cloud native support and intelligent data processing. So with AI introduction, like we all know chat gpt, what is the power of chat gpt? It can do wonders for you, right? Same thing with golden gate 23 AI. Like it has intelligent data processing methodologies, it has intelligent error resolving capabilities. Okay. So 23 AI is going to be the game changer in this market, of course. So Golden Gate 23 AI, guys, let me tell you, is completely microservices. So until 21C, you all are aware. If you are not aware, let me tell you. Basically, until 21C, both classic and microservices architecture coexisted, right? But from 23 AI onwards, it's only microservices architecture. Okay. So in 1995, Golden Gate was founded. And Golden Gate was basically named after famous San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. So you can see my video on the bottom right side, right? So you can see that is the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. So it is in San Francisco. It is famous Golden Gate Bridge. And in 1995, this Golden Gate product was founded, and it is named after the famous Golden Gate Bridge. Golden Gate, remember, was a standalone company at that time. In 2009, as Oracle does, of course, it bought Golden Gate. It acquired Golden Gate. Okay. From 2009 to 2017, there was only one way to configure Golden Gate, and that was through command prompt GGSCI. So until 2017, there was only one way to configure Golden Gate, and it was called as Oracle Golden Gate. It was only called as Oracle Golden Gate. Okay. Now, from 2009 to 2017, there was only one way to configure Golden Gate, and that was through command prompt, GGSCI. Okay. So until 2017, 17, it was called as Oracle GoldenGate. In 2017, Oracle renamed it to Oracle GoldenGate Classic Architecture. So Oracle GoldenGate Classic Architecture is GGSCI based, command prompt based architecture, which allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure GoldenGate through command prompt GGSCI. And in 2017, they launched a new architecture of GoldenGate, which is called as microservices architecture. So microservices architecture is GUI based architecture. It also has command prompt, and it allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure GoldenGate through GUI as well. And this microservices architecture has different services available, and it is REST API based architecture. So in August 2017, this microservices architecture was introduced. So let me be honest, guys, with you with this GoldenGate. Many people have this question which they ask is, what is the future of Oracle GoldenGate? Should we learn GoldenGate? Does it really matter? Like, because see, each technology in this world is going to be extinct, right? It is not going to last forever until there are competitors of GoldenGate or competitors of that technology comes, right? So unless the technology keeps on upgrading, keeps on introducing the latest features, it is going to get extinct. So the best part with GoldenGate, and I should really appreciate Oracle for it. See, GoldenGate is one of the best selling product. It is a USP of Oracle right now because it is a licensed product and Oracle charges handsomely for it, right? I should say, I can say that it's a cash cow product for them. Now, see, guys, when Oracle launched this autonomous database or OCI, they had like Oracle Cloud, they had a big expectations from these. And to be honest, if I have to tell you, it didn't meet their expectation because other clouds like Azure, AWS are way ahead of Oracle. So now Oracle has one hero product which is called as Oracle GoldenGate. So they are, I should really commend Oracle in that they are doing everything what they can do. Like when microservices was getting very popular, like in 2017, so many technologies were moving to microservices, keeping future in mind. So they introduced microservices. Now with this AI being the future, so they have introduced AI features as well in GoldenGate. So now GoldenGate 23 AI is fusion of microservices and AI. And by this way, if Oracle keeps on upgrading itself with the latest ongoing hot features and technologies, Oracle GoldenGate is not going to go anywhere. So, as per my projection, I should say until last year, I was thinking that at least until 5 years, GoldenGate is safe. But if I have to tell you now, I would say at least until next 9 to 10 years, GoldenGate is safe. Because the way it is expanding, the way it is getting new features, it is commendable, and Oracle is putting all its eggs on GoldenGate right now. Okay. Okay. So GGSCI based architecture is called as classic architecture, and microservices architecture, one of the feature is GUI, and of course it also has command prompt as well. So if I have to tell you, until GoldenGate 12.2, only classic architecture was available. So if you are using GoldenGate version 12.2 or less, only classic architecture is available. Okay, there is no mic. So you don't have any option apart from going to classic architecture. Now, if you are using GoldenGate version 12.3 to 21c, both classic and microservices coexist. So you can pick and choose what type of architecture you want to implement in your environment. Okay. And from 23 AI onwards, or 23 AI, or from 23 AI, classic architecture no longer exists. It is only microservices architecture which is available now. Okay. So until GoldenGate 12.2, only classic architecture was available. From 12.3 to 21c, both classic and microservices coexist. So you can pick and choose what you want to implement. And from 23 AI onwards, only microservices architecture is available. Okay. So still, if you go out into the market, okay, classic architecture presence is still very huge. If I have to go by the latest numbers, presence of GoldenGate classic architecture is 70 to 80% in the market. Microservices present, it is increasing, guys. It is right now 18 to 20% in the market. Okay. So still classic architecture is the dominant player, but yeah, future of GoldenGate is microservices, and with this 23i, of course, only microservices could be used. The reason I'll tell you, the reason for the classic architecture is not because classic architecture has any benefit or it has to be used. The thing is, first of all, there are very less number of people who know GoldenGate. Okay. Out of which, again, microservices understanding is again very limited. Okay. So that's why, see, when you are working as a SME in your organization or as a SPOC in your organization, if they ask you whether you want to upgrade GoldenGate to microservices, what you would say? If you have understanding and knowledge, you would say, yes, it is possible, it is good, and it has a lot of features, but you don't have any knowledge on that. You will say that we don't have expertise or it's not required to be done. I have seen personally, I'll tell you, I work as a GoldenGate consultant for a lot of organizations. Like many organizations, see, I work as a consultant, so I'm an outsider for an organization. So basically, ultimately, it's the internal database team or GoldenGate team who has to support their project related to GoldenGate, right? So when I go to some of the companies, some of the organizations, so there is a meeting which happens. Of course, they ask for my input and everything, whether upgrading to microservices is useful or not, and I give them my recommendation that of course you should try to do that. Go with the latest technology, and ultimately, if not today, after a couple of years, you will have to upgrade it to it. So if you have to upgrade after a couple of years, why not do it now, right? But what happens is I give my recommendations, but I'm an outsider because I work as a consultant for them. They discuss this internally within their team. And who is the SME in their team? They because he or she has a limited knowledge, so they don't support the idea and they still implement or continue to be on classic architecture. So the thing is, overall, and this happens with me a lot. I'm not saying this based on one project experience, guys. It happens with me a lot. Okay. So the thing is, and whatever I'll tell you during this training sessions, I'll tell you as per my experience. Guys, like the training program which I'll be conducting right now, whatever I have done, implemented or set up, you will get all my knowledge or information or the best practice is what I do. I'll tell you about those during this training. And of course, with this training, I'm also introducing a lot of new topics, which includes Golden Gate Hub, upgradation and migration of Golden Gate, and different things I'll be introducing apart from Golden Gate 23 AI features. Okay. So Oracle Golden Gate family contains Oracle Golden Gate classic architecture. So Oracle Golden Gate family includes Oracle GoldenGate Classic Architecture, Oracle GoldenGate Microservices, and Oracle GoldenGate Data. Okay. So we discussed about classic architecture. The latest version of classic architecture is 21C and it is the last version. The latest version of microservices is 23i. And guys, from 23i onwards, it is not called as Oracle GoldenGate Microservices 23i. It is now called as Oracle GoldenGate 23i. So until 21C, it is like Oracle GoldenGate Microservices 21C and Oracle GoldenGate Classic Architecture 21C. However, because now only microservices exist, hence it is called as Oracle GoldenGate 23AI. And Oracle GoldenGate Veridata also has a latest version which is called as 23C. We did the training of that. We just finished the training of that last week itself. So 23C, again, 23C was also the first instructor led training which was conducted ever in this world. So Veridata 23c is again a new version of GoldenGate Veridata, which has a lot of features. So what is Veridata? So Veridata is a product, as the name suggests, it verifies the data for you, and it is very important, a very popular product nowadays. So what Veridata does for you is it verifies the data for you. So say, for example, on source, you have 10,000 records in the table. On target, you have 9,000 records. So what Veridata can do for you is it can identify discrepant records for you, and it can repair those discrepancies as well for you. Okay. Veridata nowadays is getting very popular due to these migrations going on. So organizations want to validate the data upon migration. So that's why this Veridata is also getting very popular nowadays. Okay. So Oracle Golden Gate family as a whole contains these three things: classic architecture, microservices, and Veridata. So if you are going for any interview, any job support, or anything related to Golden Gate, in fact, Golden Gate certification, it contains questions from these three things. None of the question in Oracle Golden Gate will go out of these three things: classic architecture, microservices, and Veridata. Okay. So Oracle Golden Gate family contains these three things: classic architecture, microservices, and Veridata. Okay. Now, one quick question. We were talking about we were talking about Oracle Golden Gate future. Okay. Now I have a question from you guys. Why did Nokia faded? What was the reason for Nokia to go down? Because the competitor, it wasn't Nokia alone. Nokia didn't embrace the latest technology, latest ongoing trends. First thing. Another thing was its competitors were there, right? So if you have competitor in the market, yes, you will be faded, or you will be a forgotten, you will be history, right? But but if I talk about Golden Gate right now, if I have to ask you, name three Golden Gate competitors, will you be able to name that? Of course, you will have to think hard. If I ask you, name one Golden Gate competitor, I believe 70% of you won't be able to answer that as well. Most of you will answer DataGuard is competitor of GoldenGate. But guys, DataGuard is not competitor of GoldenGate. You can compare apple to apple, but not apple to orange. So same thing. So what is the difference between GoldenGate and DataGuard? There is a video available on my YouTube channel, Oracle GoldenGate versus Oracle DataGuard. You can watch it in detail if you want to do that. So few of the GoldenGate competitors, if I have to tell you which are there in the market, are SharePlex. Quest SharePlex you must have heard, right? Then you have Attunity, or which is also called now as Kulik Replicate. That is also competitor. Then you have Fivetran. That is another competitor. So there are few competitors of GoldenGate. Now, would you believe in data replication? And I am being conservative. I'm not taking the humongous number, or I'm not on like generous side. I am conservative. And the conservative number is 95%. Golden Gate market share in terms of replication technology is 95%. So it means that 95% of implementations which are using Golden Gate, which are using data replication technologies, they are using Oracle Golden Gate. And remaining 5%, out of which I would say 2% would be acquired by SharePlex, 1% will be acquired by Attunity. And then there are other products like Fivetran or Amazon DMZ is there, which are considered as competitor. I would say they together all other database replication technologies will have 2% market share. So you can see market share of Golden Gate is pretty high. The reason is Not only GoldenGate, other competitors don't have that capability what GoldenGate has in terms of performance, in terms of data loss. The thing is, see, I'll tell you one thing. Uh, GoldenGate is a product which deals with data, and data is of utmost priority for any environment. Like if you know, like there were a lot of data leak issues which we used to hear few days back. Right, there were data leaks happening, and it was due to some technological issues only. Right. So if I ask you one question, that you have a bank account in, say, for example, Bank of America, and your details, your critical details like your credit card details or your phone number or your debit card number, all these details are revealed to the hacker. Will you be happy with it? Of course, no. You will be mad, right? Because data is of utmost importance. So in GoldenGate, data sends transfers over TCP/IP network. So you have to ensure, or I should say, the technology has to ensure that data is always safe, right? So GoldenGate scores above its competitors in terms of security as well and ensuring zero data loss in its environment. You will learn more about it as the session moves forward. Okay, so GoldenGate is a product which captures the data from source and apply it to target database. Okay. So Oracle GoldenGate 23ai is the latest version of Oracle GoldenGate. So different architectures include classic architecture, microservices, and very data as well. Okay. Now, in GoldenGate, there are different types of extracts and replicates available. So different types of extracts and replicates which are available are integrated extract and classic extract. So extract is the process which captures the data from the source database. So you will understand when we discuss about architecture. Replicate is a process which applies the data to the target database. So integrated extract, so there are different types of extract. When GoldenGate initially was launched, it was called as only extract process. When integrated extract was introduced, which is the latest type of extract, the traditional type of extract was renamed to classic extract, and integrated extract is now available. Same way, there are different types of replicates which are called as non-integrated replicate, integrated replicate, which was introduced in GoldenGate version 12.1. Then coordinated replicate was introduced in GoldenGate version 12.2, and then parallel replicate was introduced in GoldenGate version 12.3. So parallel replicate is also of two types: parallel non-integrated and parallel integrated replicate. So these are
What is the
different types of extracts and replicates. So there is a question which people ask me regularly. I believe I've spent a lot of time, like with my webinars, with my sessions, explaining that there is a question which people ask me. With the introduction of this microservices, does integrated no longer exist? Did anyone had this question prior to answering different types of extracts and replicate? If yes, make it clear, guys. So the thing is, there are only two types of architectures, classic and microservices. There is no integrated architecture. Under classic architecture or microservices architecture, you can configure different types of extract, which is called as integrated extract or classic extract. So integrated is not type of architecture, but type of extract and or replicate. Okay, so integrated extract or classic extract is there. So the thing is, why this confusion comes, let me make it clear. GoldenGate, Oracle, what it did was, the when GoldenGate was there, there was only one architecture, and it was called as Oracle GoldenGate architecture. When they renamed it to Classic. So Classic means traditional. Same way, when GoldenGate was introduced, there was only one type of extract, which was called as extract. Then, when integrated was introduced, they renamed traditional type to classic one. Okay, so integrated is type of extract and replicate. So under classic architecture, you can configure integrated extract or classic extract or integrated replicate or non-integrated replicate or any other type of replicate. Same way under microservices, you can configure different types of extracts and replicates, including integrated extract and integrated replicate. Okay.
So which one is better, integrated extract or classic extract? I mean, which one? I mean, isn't
Okay. So that is very good question, I should say. So guys, with this, integrated extract. So integrated extract is the latest type of extract, and the support of integrated extract is very good. Like if I have to tell you, from GoldenGate 21c onwards, classic extract is deprecated. So you cannot configure classic extract from GoldenGate 21c onwards. So integrated extract support is too good. With performance wise, it is good. It supports almost all of the data types, most of the data types it supports. For rack or ASM, if you were using classic architecture earlier, you had to do separate configuration, but with integrated, it's same just like normal configuration. Different. So for the replicats, all type of replicats are available. Now again, I always say one thing, which one you should be implementing is, if it is supported, go with the latest type of version and latest types of extract and replicate. So parallel replicate performance is very good. So I would always highly recommend go with the parallel replicate if you have to implement, or implement integrated replicate.
So
Okay.
will the options will
So
come
we
to
will
us?
be implementing these types of extracts and replicates in our environment as the session goes on. We'll be implementing these in our environment. Okay.
Okay, but when we install it, will it show to us? I mean, which type of replicate, which type of we need to select that one, or how it is?
Yes, yes, yes. We have to do it. We will be getting all that information. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now we are talking about microservices architecture and classic architecture. So first of all, let us discuss about what is classic architecture. What is Oracle GoldenGate classic architecture? So Oracle GoldenGate classic architecture is a traditional architecture which is there since beginning of GoldenGate. So in classic architecture, you have a source database and a target database. Okay. So I'll tell you the major difference between classic architecture is, it is process-based architecture. That means that in classic architecture, there are processes which runs in your environment. There are processes which runs in your environment. So it is process based architecture. So what happens in classic architecture is, you have a source database and a target database. Every database has its own transaction logs, whether it is Oracle or non-Oracle. So remember one thing, GoldenGate supports both Oracle as well as non-Oracle database. Now you may have a question that whether 23ai supports this database or not. So guys, today we are not going, because of time constraint, I won't be able to, but by next session, you will be able to answer that point on your own. Okay. So Oracle Golden Gate, you have a source database and any supported Oracle or non-Oracle database. Okay. So you configure, so in Golden Gate terminology, capture process is also called as extract process or vice versa. So during the training session, if I say capture or extract, guys, it means same. Same way if I say delivery or replicate, they are also same. So extract means capture or vice versa. Same way replicate means delivery or vice versa. Okay. So in Golden Gate, you configure Golden Gate extract process, which captures the data from the source database upon reading the transaction logs and writes it to the local trail files. Okay. Now, trail files are the binary format files which resides on the operating system. Okay. So suppose any change, you did any insert, update, or delete in your environment. Okay. Now, or any DDL transaction. So what will happen? It will get returned to the transaction logs of the database. Now, once it gets returned, GoldenGate extract process will will read the transaction logs and will capture the committed transactions. Okay. So it will capture the committed transactions. Remember, as I told you, the transaction logs contains committed as well as uncommitted transactions. So GoldenGate extract process is going to capture only committed transactions. Once the transactions are captured, it writes them to the trail file on local machine, which are called as local trail files. Once the data gets returned into the local trail file. So remember, these local trail files are the binary format files which resides on the operating system. Now, trail files residing on the local machine are called as the local trail files. Okay. Now, once the transactions are available into the local trail file, so extract process captures them, writes them to the local trail file. Once the transactions are available into local trail file, the data pump process reads the data from local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network, and writes them to the trail file on target machine, which are called as remote trail files. Once the data is available into the remote trail file, the replicate or delivery process reads the data out of your remote trail and apply it to the target database. So there are three processes involved over here: extract, pump, and the replicate process. Guys, one more thing. There are two terms which are common between database and GoldenGate. One is data pump and second is checkpoint. So until and unless I specify, they mean that they are GoldenGate data pump and GoldenGate checkpoint. Okay. So you have the extract process capturing the data from it reads the transaction logs in sequential manner and captures the data in committed run in it captures the committed transactions. Once the transactions are captured, it writes those local trail files on the operating system. Remember, they cannot reside on ESM. Once the transaction are returned into the local trail, GoldenGate data pump process reads the data from local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network, and writes them to the remote trail files. Once the data is available into remote trail file, the replicate process reads the data from remote trail and apply it to the target database. So there are three processes involved: extract, pump, and replicate. And remember one thing, each process has a source to read from and a target to write to. So the source of extract process is transaction logs of the database. Target is local trail. Pump process source is local trail. Target is remote trail. The replicate process source is remote trail and target is target database. Okay. Now there is collector process. There is one background process also in classic architecture, which is called as collector process, which runs on target side. So pump process, when it sends the data to target, it the collector process runs over here on target side. As the name suggests, it collects the data which is sent over TCP/IP network via the pump process and it writes them to the remote trail file. Okay. Now GoldenGate also works in bidirectional environment. So in bidirectional, both the sites are live. So in bidirectional, what happens is you will configure just like, so I always say one thing, bidirectional is nothing but two-way unidirectional with some consideration. So whatever you have set up from site A to site B replication, same thing you will be setting up from, same thing you will be setting up for site B to site A replication as well. So on site B now, you will have your own transaction logs. It is again another database. So that whatever transactions are happening over here, the extract process will capture them, write them to the local trail file on site B. Once the transactions are available on local trail file, the pump process will send it over TCP/IP network, where collector process will collect it and write it to the trail file, and then replicate process will apply it to other database. Okay. So this is how your classic architecture works, where you have extract, pump, collector, and the replicate process. Along with that, you also have a manager process. Okay. Now, GoldenGate 23 AI architecture overview. So 23 AI architecture supports microservices architecture only. Okay. So Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI does not support classic architecture. It only supports microservices. I think I should have mentioned it supports microservices architecture only and not traditional architecture. I think by mistakenly I missed traditional. I corrected. It does not support traditional classic architecture. It only supports microservices architecture. It has AI powered automated tuning for optimal replication performance. It is integrated with Oracle Database 23c and Autonomous Database for cloud native replication. Okay. So Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI is AI powered automated tuning for optimal replication performance. So it has microservices architecture. So how microservices architecture works? Let us have a quick overview of microservices architecture, and then in the next session we'll discuss more on difference between 21C and 23AI and what is new in 23AI. So Oracle Golden Gate microservices architecture. So microservices architecture is basically a REST API based architecture which enable us to configure, monitor and manage Oracle Golden Gate services using web based UI. So microservices architecture is a REST API based architecture, remember, and it allows you to set up, manage, configure, manage Oracle Golden Gate services using web based UI. This microservices architecture was introduced in GoldenGate version 12CR3. So from GoldenGate version 12CR3, concept of microservices architecture was introduced. Okay. Now it is in August 2017, basically existing architecture was renamed to Classic and the new architecture is microservices architecture. Okay. Now what are the different services which are involved in microservices architecture? So microservices architecture is service based architecture. Okay. Now there are different services which runs in microservices. So first is you have a service manager which manages all the services in its own environment. So what different types of services which runs in Oracle GoldenGate microservices are administration server, distribution server, performance metric server, and receiver server. So guys, remember one thing. In classic architecture, we saw we have data pump process. In microservices architecture, there is no data pump. It has been replaced with distribution server. So basically in 23 AI as well, you don't have any data pump process. It is replaced by distribution server. Same way, in classic architecture, you had collector process. In microservices architecture, it has been replaced with receiver server. So in microservices architecture, you don't have any data pump process, you don't have any collector process. The classic architecture data pump process has been replaced with distribution server, and classic architecture collector process has been replaced with receiver server. So you have service manager. Under service manager is basically watchdog of all the services. So these are the services which runs administration server, distribution server, performance metric server, and receiver server. So these are the four services which runs in microservices architecture. Now, under administration server, you configure GoldenGate, extract, replicate processes. Okay. Then you start, stop processes are done. So basically, all the tasks which are done at GGSCI level, those tasks of managing, maintaining GoldenGate are done under the administrations. Okay. Then distribution server is used to distribute the data from one server to another server. So reading the data from local trail and writing to remote trail. Performance metric server is the addition in GoldenGate where you can monitor Oracle GoldenGate performance. And then you also have a receiver server which helps in collecting the data on the target side. So Oracle GoldenGate microservices architecture looks like this if you have to see. So Oracle GoldenGate microservices architecture has, you have a source database and a target database. So you have different services running. You can see like service manager is running on both source and target. Okay. Now under service manager, you have different services like admin server, performance metric server, distribution server running on source. And on target, you have admin server, performance metric server, and receiver server running on target. So admin server, you configure GoldenGate extract process, which writes data to local trail. Then this local trail is read by the distribution server. This distribution server sends the data over TCP/IP network where receiver server receives it. It writes the data to the remote trail and the replicate process applies it to the target site. Okay. You have this performance matrix server. Now, also in this architecture, you can see this admin client. So guys, microservices architecture is touted as a GUI based architecture. That's not. It also has command prompt. Like people like me who are working in GoldenGate since beginning and who are more inclined towards command prompt. So microservices architecture also has a command prompt. Okay. So microservices architecture looks like this. So we'll be discussing more on this in the next session. We'll be discussing what are key features, advanced feature, and what are differences between GoldenGate 21C and 23ai. So because of time constraint, we are running out of the timing. So again, in the next session, I'll I just wanted to touch base about microservices architecture in this session, but we'll be discussing about this in detail in the next session, like different types of services which are involved, what are features of GoldenGate 23ai, what are differences between 21C and 23ai, what are benefits of upgrading to 23ai. We'll be discussing about all that in the day 2 session of our training session. So in today's session, we discussed about recap of GoldenGate 23ai. So first I will a recap of our 23ai is we discussed about Oracle GoldenGate 23ai introduction. We discussed about what are different types of architectures available. We discussed briefly about classic architecture and how process data flow happens. We then got introduced to Oracle GoldenGate microservices architecture. So basically 23ai is completely on Oracle GoldenGate microservices architecture, right? So microservices architecture is available from 2017. So different components of microservices architecture, which of course 23i also has, is service manager, administration server, distribution server, receiver server, and performance matrix server, which we'll be discussing in detail. So data pump process of classic architecture has been replaced with distribution server in microservices architecture. Same way, the collector process of classic architecture has been replaced with receiver server in microservices architecture. Okay. So in the next session, guys, we'll be discussing about benefits of upgrading to GoldenGate 23ai, and we'll be downloading 23ai. We'll be doing installation and installation requirements of 23ai. Now, there is a question which I noticed. What is the difference between integrated and classic extract? So, guys, there is a blog which is available on my website as well. You can go through it. Difference between classic and integrated extract. And during the training session, I'll also discuss about that. But if you want to know about it right now, you can go through this. So let me see the questions which are there in chat window, and
Yes.
then the questions. I'll ask you to unmute yourself, but let me take the questions on the chat window. Okay. So there is a question, difference between classic and integrated extract. You can go through this block. Now, local trails can be stored in ASM. I think I answered no, they cannot be. Is the data encrypted in trail files by default? No, but yes, you can encrypt it. Okay, how do we encrypt? There are separate parameters which we discussed. Now, trail file is binary file and can be encrypted file. ASM storage won't be feasible because extract pump or distribution replicate process would not need to access trail files from ASM. Absolutely correct. So the thing is, we have to understand one thing, why ASM is not feasible to store the data is because see, GoldenGate is a product which is external to the database. Okay, so extract process is external to the database. So it cannot write the data which is being which is not accessible by the external product. So ASM is the product which is accessible by Oracle product, and it's not accessible by GoldenGate. Okay. Now, is OGG MSA architecture specific to 23i, or was it same for 19C and 21C version? Guys, what's the answer for this? I think I answered already. So it is available since 12.3. So it is of course available for 19C as well as 21C. Okay. So do we need pump process for each extract process, and instead can we mount the same on both source and target to get rid of pump process? The answer to this question is yes. That's correct, Sunil. So how do we do that? We'll be discussing about that during the later part of this. We'll be discussing about Golden Gate Hub in our environment. Okay. So that will answer your question. Now there is a question from Chris. Do we need prior MSN knowledge to study 23i? During the training, I'll be covering all of them. Okay. Which all database version 23 AI Golden Gate supports. Guys, I answered this for you, right? By next session, you will be able to answer this on your own. So my whole purpose of this training is to ensure that you are self-sufficient to answer the questions. So this question, hold until the next session. You will be able to answer this question automatically. Can we upgrade Oracle Golden Gate 12.2 to Oracle 21 AI? No, you cannot, because 21 AI does not exist at all. It is 21C which exists, or 23 AI which exists. So you can upgrade any Golden Gate version to any Golden Gate version, provided it exists. Okay.
Does it have any
Okay.
compatibility
Now you
issue?
guys can unmute yourself. You can raise your hand and I'll unmute you and you guys can ask your question. So please raise your hand first, guys. Okay. Sandeep, you have a question?
Yeah, does it have any compatibility issues? I mean, if my database is running on Oracle 19C, so do we need to with 21C or 23A again do anything, right?
So the answer to this question is you will be able to answer this question on your own in next session. Same
Okay.
question which was asked, the answer remains same. Wait until the next session. You will be able to answer this question on your own.
And there is a question from Sunil, right? Do we need pump process for each extract process? Does it required in a microservice also?
So I answered that. It is possible if you don't want to configure it because pump is optional, but how do you do it? That we'll be discussing during our training session.
Thank you.
Amish, you have a question?
So next session will be on Zoom meeting only, correct?
So yeah, so continuous sessions will happen on the Zoom meeting. Okay, so all the sessions will be happening on Zoom. So I hope you guys were able to follow the session. And this 23 is really a big deal. Like it is the future and a lot of new things you will learn subsequently as the session moves ahead. So stay tuned, do join the lectures, and I hope this session was like more informative as well to you. I know few things you might be aware as well, like different types of architecture, but with 23 AI, a lot of new things will be there which are yet to come. Okay. So on that note, let us wrap up our session for today and we'll continue in the next session.